not even paying me yet.
Okay, we can get you the mic. So.
Touche.
All right, I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
I am ready. I'm going to count down from 3, and you are good to go. 3.
You sound so handsome.
That's my radio voice.
Oh my God, so
I've been
good.
here
So
since
good.
6 this morning, so my voice is warmed up today. So
Yeah.
Nice.
and I drank 75
I
cups
know.
of coffee. So
You sound like you're on cocaine
I
and
wish.
very
I
well
wish.
versed. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to 614Femprenuer, Columbus's #1 female entrepreneur show. I
Woo-hoo!
am Michael Cheney, JKW.
In the house. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. It is Jennifer Kessel-White, your favorite Columbus real estate agent, your very friendly real estate investor. And by the way, I just love seeing women do powerful things. So that's why we're here to talk today on 614Femprenuer.
You know it.
Hey, we have a great guest today. Let's say hi. Hi, Cassie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. This is Cassie Wright with Honey Home Design and Staging, and we're so happy to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Good. Well, give us a little bit of your elevator pitch, Cassie. Tell us what your business is and what you do.
Absolutely. So Honey Home Design and Staging is just that, design and staging.
Yeah.
I have a full inventory, so I'm ready to go in and help stage any home. And then also I do interior design, so I work with residential and corporate clients, corporate commercial clients. And really what it comes down to is I'm trying to create a space that feels, okay.
Yeah,
So-
you're good. A space that feels.
A space that feels like home, really.
Yeah.
I mean, when you come in, you want to be, your home is your extension of yourself.
Totally.
So it should reflect that. And I see all the time people walking into these big box stores and getting just, furniture that they see in catalogs and this and creating a space that is just so lacking of a personality.
Just
So-
because they have 3 couches to pick from.
Exactly.
Or sometimes you can go do what I do, and I'm like, well, I'm on Amazon. They've given me 5 options.
Right.
And, I'm just going to pick the blue one because I don't want to go to the store right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're here to help with that.
I'm here to help with that. I want somebody's home to be an extension of themselves, like I was saying, something that they can walk into and they just can relax.
Yes, like I'm on the same page with you because what I really believe is that when someone has a space that they're proud of, they want to share the space with their friends, their family.
Absolutely.
I really believe it changes your life.
It does.
When you wake up, you feel like, wow, I'm happy with this space. You come home at the end of the day and you really just love that space. I swear it changes your whole outlook on life, and I think it can add a whole new trajectory.
Yes.
Did I sound too stuffed up when I said that?
No,
No.
not
In your
at
life,
all.
I swear, and it's why I love paint.
Mm-hmm.
As cliche as it sounds, but I really believe even simple things like paint, or maybe it's furniture, and you can talk more to us about that, but literally can change your life.
I just designed a new home from scratch, the interior, and had to get all new everything.
Right.
And I love it so very much.
Yes.
And it is just, it's warm and inviting, and it feels like home. And I find myself walking through it and just being like, wow, I nailed it.
Well,
Yeah.
You feel so good.
well, and that's the thing is that when you have a home that you love, it reflects in other parts of your life too.
Of course.
Absolutely.
You walk in and you have your child's, framed painted art piece, or you have, like a really cool, collection of something that you found on a trip overseas or something like that. It's just different elements of you
Yeah.
expressed in your decor, and it really it creates that personal space that is just 100% authentic you.
Totally. And I will say quickly, being an entrepreneur, and I have to imagine you guys are kind of on the same page, but when you have that space, you work from home a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm often doing things at home that are work related, and having that space that makes me feel comfortable. For me, I think it even adds to my creativity and my mindset, which we know is super important as an entrepreneur. My space at home is so important to me, and that it feels good because it helps all of these other things that I'm doing.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So how long have you been in the industry with home design and staging?
That's a great question. The short answer is my whole life.
Yes.
The long answer is I have always been interested in interior design, and I grew up as a child going to antique stores and rearranging room spaces and furniture, and it's just always been something that I've loved doing.
Good.
And so as I got older, I went and had my went to college for undergraduate degree, and majored in something that wasn't interior design. And I kept going back and thinking, this year I'm going to switch majors. This year I'm going to switch majors. And every single time it came to the dilemma of like, well, if I want to do that, it's an additional 4 years. It's an additional 5, and all of this stuff. And so in my head, I was like, all right, this is something that I'm going to continue doing on the side and love doing it, and then get my degree, and then maybe I'll go and get my master's, and then, then I can go into interior design, and then we can start that whole
just kind of
route.
Like talking yourself out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you get your degree in?
Anthropology, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
completely different.
I can't even have a conversation about that.
Whoa.
Can you?
No, not at all.
I know. So I graduated with a degree in anthropology, and I was looking up all these different master's programs on interior design all around the country, and it was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Well, real life kicked in. It was like, you need a job. So
Totally.
I went into sales with a crane company, and I would be all over the country working with this crane company, being in the factories, and having all the gear on, and like shadowing these mechanics just for the role so I could train in it. And I'd be looking around at all of the different components that were in the factory and thinking, oh, that would make such a cool light, or like that would be such a cool piece to add to a table. And I'm sitting here and I'm envisioning all this interior design stuff and how to utilize the really unique industrial pieces, and I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. Yes. So in your mind, the whole time you're like, I got you, but instead you're designing.
I'm like off in my head daydreaming daydreaming about how I can use these pieces in a home design.
So you worked in corporate America.
Yeah. So then
for how long?
Oh gosh, like 3 to 4 years.
Got it.
So I worked for that company, and the whole time I was really trying to just fit into this mold that I thought I was supposed to.
Right.
You hear it every single day. You go and get your degree. You go and you start working full time with a company, and you just, you fall into that whole rat race type of mentality.
Right.
And so I worked with that company, and I just kept thinking like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. So.
And don't you guys think it's common? Do you know people who have been with a company for years and years and they hate their job?
Oh, totally.
Well,
100%.
did you hate your job, or you just had a passion for something else?
No, I genuinely felt like I was not where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I keep saying that, but it's the truth.
So here's something that I've said before many times, that while I was in a previous role, and I was like, I feel like I'm made for something more than this.
Yeah.
Totally.
I feel like I'm not utilizing my personality or my strengths in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And that just hit me really hard. And I kept on saying it like year after year, like, I know I'm not in the right place. And
Right.
I feel like my story should be different.
Right.
And so then finally I just had to make it different.
I feel
right?
like that's so common. So the question is, how do you get out of it? How did you get out of it, Cassie?
Well, it took me a couple years. I mean, like I said, I was with that company, and I thought, well, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to try something else, and I went down the list of jobs that I've had in my head, job opportunities in my head, thinking, oh, I might like this or I might like that. So from that new business development role, I went into marketing manager, and I thought, okay, I'm very creative. I love designing. I love doing all this stuff. Like, maybe this is a good fit for me. So I went and I did that for about a year, and still that same feeling was there, that nagging feeling that this is not where I'm supposed to be. So from there, I was like, well, I've always thought medical sales would be interesting. So then I did a complete, turn to medical sales, and I worked in medical sales in the OR for a couple years, and I did that. And what was funny though is in every job that I had, I found some type of piece of it to connect to interior design.
Totally.
So when I was doing medical sales, we would have trade shows, and they would call me up and say, hey, come design this trade, this booth for the trade show, come set this up, come do this. And so I would do that,
And you loved it.
I did. I loved
Right.
it. And so I thought, well, this is really cool. I get to watch surgeries. I get to be in, this space that I never thought I would be in. And, I'm in this incredible career opportunity and this trajectory to make a lot of money, and this is great, right? Well, no. I kept having that feeling that this is not where I'm supposed to be. So last summer, beginning of last summer, it just got to the point where it was overwhelming, and I knew that there needed to be a change. And so I thought about it. I even switched companies into a different medical sales company, and thinking maybe that was what it was. But no, it came down to it that I just was ready to start my own business. I was ready to really move forward with interior design and just take that leap.
Just figure it out.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what I did. I mean,
You just up and quit?
Yeah, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew where I was not right. It was not where I was supposed to be. And so I just put in my 2 weeks notice and, told my family, and they thought I was clinically insane.
Yeah, that's the way. If your family doesn't think you're insane, you're not an entrepreneur.
You're not doing it right.
Yeah, you're not doing it right.
I mean, to the point where they wanted to check me into like a crisis center at a church.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. So
poor thing.
Yeah. So I got some negative feedback and some pushback, just to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least.
But I was just very strong in my dedication to what I wanted to do, and felt like that was the path that I was supposed to be on, and just continued to move forward. And I didn't have a plan at all. I had no plan.
Okay, I like that, because a lot of people, when they make the leap, they've already started a little side hustle deal, so that they know they've got their foot in the door somewhere else.
Or a business plan, full blown, like,
yep, something.
But you were just like, nope, I'm just going in.
And you're going to figure it out somehow.
Yeah, it was, fall or fly type moment, where it's like,
I love it.
Taking this jump, and the only thing that I can do is succeed. And that's really the pressure that I put on myself.
That's the exact kind of pressure, not to mention monetary pressure, I'm sure, because you said you were on a trajectory to make a lot of money in your previous career.
Yes.
So, and medical sales is not known for hurting.
No.
So, I think that you took a financial risk just as much. I mean, were you petrified of how you were going to pay your bills?
Totally. I mean, luckily I had savings, but, that wasn't something that I could live on for the rest of my life. I had a short time period where that was going to be enough to cover everything, but time was running out. And so I did, as in the beginning months, I did do some part-time stuff. I would drive for Lyft and Uber and just do like a little, as whatever I needed to do to, make ends meet.
Do you remember the first job you got in your new business? Like, what was the first job? How did you find it?
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story. I was basically working part-time, like I said, doing one of those just make ends meet type of roles, and I was talking to this guy in the company, and he was saying how he was a real estate investor, and he was talking to me about staging, and I talked about interior design. I talked about my passion, any opportunity I could, just to make sure that that was on the forefront of my mind, and people knew that, and potential doors to open. And he was talking about how he was having such a hard time with this current stager he was using, and I didn't miss a beat, and I said, hey, whatever you're paying her, I will do it for half, and just give me the opportunity.
You just put it right
Yeah,
out there.
I said, whatever you're paying her, I'll do it for half. Like, I love interior design, I blah blah blah, all this stuff. And he was like, well, I'll pay you the full amount, but sure, I'll take a chance on you. And I was like, that's awesome. So I got the deposit and went and started buying inventory, because I had zero.
Well, that's the thing. So are you staging full houses?
Yes.
So now do you hold inventory somewhere?
I do. I have a storage unit, and it has all of my inventory in there.
Nice.
But yeah, I didn't have any inventory. I had staged homes before for friends and families, but nothing professionally. And so I just said, you know what, I'll do it. And that night went out and started purchasing things, went by the homes and planned out where everything was going to go. But that was my chance, my opportunity, and I jumped at it.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah. So from there, it's just been,
that must have been really expensive to go and buy an entire house worth of staging stuff, because you can't buy the same thing for every house.
well, there's things, larger pieces that you can reuse.
Yeah.
But the smaller things, obviously, that's where that design element comes in, because it's finding a way to reuse things that you already have in new ways. So, you know, I might have the same couch, but put different pillows. I might have the same table, but use different chairs.
Right.
I might, you know, put an art piece in a different spot. Instead of the living room, I use it in the bedroom, and things like that. But I made sure, like, when I was talking with him, I struck a deal that I would get the next 4 houses. So it wasn't just one. So I had that income coming in, and from there it was just networking and putting my name out there and just being really hungry. And
So you weren't messing around.
No.
You were like, I'm quitting my job and I'm finding work. I'm figuring out how to make this happen.
Exactly.
I love that. How important do you guys think it is to like talk about these things? Like, like talk about your dreams, talk about your
What you do.
ideas. Like,
Yeah.
some people I feel like want to put a lid on that, and they're kind of afraid to throw their crazy ideas out there. I don't feel like you're that way, Cassie.
No, not at all. I think it's all about visualization and living your life with intention. And
Yes.
if you have an intention to do something, if you are not speaking about it and thinking about it at any opportunity that you can or that you have, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Absolutely. I mean, Michael, I think you know me well enough to know that I have visions for days, and I'll tell anybody about
Yeah.
them. And every time I walk by somebody, I'm like, by the way, did you know I'm a real estate agent? I mean, I'll tell everybody.
Right.
Well, yeah.
But it's just one of those things that if you don't put it out there, and you'll never know.
Exactly.
What's the worst thing that someone can say to you? No. And I love it when Michael says this, and she always says, I think about the worst case scenario out of any scenario that I'm about to go into and think, how bad is that going to be? Am I going to be able to make it if that happens?
Yeah, can I deal with it?
Can I
get
deal
over
with
that?
it? Yeah. And if she can, then she does it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because, right?
totally. For
What's
sure.
the chances what are even the chances that the worst thing is going to happen?
And you know what I like? I like when I tell people some crazy idea and they think I'm crazy. Now, they haven't tried to check me into a church or get me help.
A crisis program.
I haven't been admitted in
Unbelievable.
crisis programs. I probably should have. But
Yeah.
I love, you know what? A year or two later, I've had people come back to me and they will say, I remember when you told me you were going to do that. I thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was crazy, but I did it.
And it worked.
Yes.
Well, it's so funny because it's amazing how the people who are like the naysayers and the doubters, and you turn around and you go and you do exactly what you say you're going to do, they come back and they're like, oh, you did a great job, I always knew you could do it. And you're like, really?
And those are usually the people that play it safe too.
Yes.
Right.
You know, they
Yeah.
got their job, they've been in for
Right.
10, 15 years, they don't love it, but they get their steady
Right.
paycheck. They're not really trying to take any chances.
Right. And I mean, going back to that whole thing about being checked into the crisis center and everything, you know, that happened over a year ago, and now the person who wanted me to do that is like the most braggadocious person when it comes to me. I mean,
oh boy. See, look at that now.
They are so excited to tell anybody and everybody, like, oh, my daughter, she does this and that.
You
and-
just aired it out there,
I
Mom.
Oh, gosh. Sorry, Mom.
But I love the word braggadocious.
Yes. We get
That's
some
a
really
good
good
one.
words on this show.
We do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. But I think anybody who is sitting there and they're on that fence and they are contemplating, do I do this? Do I not do it? I think first and foremost is just talking about it and being open with people and saying, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what my dreams are. This is what my goal is for the next year. And just really you having that at the front of your mind every single day, because it's amazing when you start thinking that way, how everything in your life starts falling into place.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to try and get around people to have these conversations with.
Yes.
So, like, I haven't always known how to do that. Now I'm part of different groups and stuff that kind of, you know, lend that outlet to me. But one thing that I would do, and this is how I met you, is I would take advantage of some of the workshops that go on around town.
Mhm.
Like
So
Haven.
many.
We've had those ladies on, the owners of Haven. And there are different workshops. So, like, if you don't know how to get around other people that are trying to do your thing or trying to start a business, look into different workshops that are offered, because you get to be around people who are cutting their teeth and trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do. And I think it's important to be around those people.
Oh, absolutely. Like-minded individuals. I mean, why do you want to go into this world and try to be on your own when you could have a support system.
Mentors.
Mentors, everything, who has your back.
Since you didn't have a business or own a business before, did you have a mentor, or were you like Google heavy and just like, how do I do this? Or what was your plan?
I've always been very entrepreneurial minded. And so I've always had some type of business that I've wanted to start or wanted to do. And so for me, I just went and did it, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't Google much. I just went with natural instinct and just went for it. I mean,
good for you.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I've been waiting so long, honestly, to do this, and it had been just that feeling and that emotion that had built up and up until finally it was like, this is what I'm doing and there's no failing. And really just whatever I need to do to succeed is what I'm going to do. So,
Jen, do you have a mentor?
Yes, I have a few. And I remember when I've asked people to be my mentors, just flat out I sent an email once to someone and said, listen, I'm going to be the best person to enter your life. Subject. No. But of course they're like, what is this? And open it. And I'm like, hi, I really need a mentor and I admire you so much. And can you please meet me for lunch or coffee and whatever? And we met, and I check in like every other month. And then I have another mentor that's from out of state that I connected with on social media, and I love her dearly. But I go to a lot of networking events because I just want to meet people, put me in a room with a bunch of people, and I want to know so many different personalities and so many different ways that things can be done. And people have a lot of opinions, and we might not always like them all, but also we might find some that are amazing. So I just want to be around different things too. Maybe something that you're not even super interested in, but you're like, I don't know, would that be cool? And you go to an event on that.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Yeah,
I love that.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is, when you go to these events, I think it's so important, just like we were talking about, to connect with people and have all of that support system behind you, and have those people that you can look up to. And I know in your industry with, real estate, that's probably something that you are able to find those mentors that have been in the industry for a while, and they know, they have that experience, and you can look and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and I want to follow this the system that you put into place. And I don't know about you with the painting and finding somebody who can mentor with you on that. For my industry, it is a bit more difficult to find somebody who is willing to open up, because a lot of interior designers, they have different methods to their madness. They have different ways that they get things done. And so a lot of them don't really want to open up and be, and discuss that with you because of the sense of competition. If that makes sense.
We've talked about that a lot, because we believe, Jen and I think that you partner together, it only enhances each of your businesses. It doesn't really, there aren't any competitors in my opinion. But I will tell you that I've had several mentors. I've had business coaches. My first mentor was actually a real estate broker.
Oh, that's awesome.
Not even in the painting world, but he had, a lot of investment properties and flipped tons and tons of houses. And so he taught me a lot about money and just business, and kind of set a framework for me to kind of help motivate me and inspire me. And then I've had a business coach that is from the painting industry, which of course is super beneficial to me.
Right.
But I think that you can find mentors. They don't have to necessarily even be from your own
industry.
Not at all.
Did you find that let's talk about a business coach real quick. Did you find that your business coach helped you increase your revenue for the painting industry?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, where I'm at in my business is what I'm trying to do to try and get where I want to get over the next 3 years. My big thing right now is to establish a very strong foundation, okay? And I believe in order to grow, my foundation has to be super strong. So over the years, I've added painters, and now I've stopped. And my plan now is to develop all the processes, all the procedures, build, I'm working on some leadership and teamwork stuff, because I want this strong foundation. And my business coach is they kind of helped me identify this, right? So when you're growing, you're not just necessarily trying to get more work and grow that way. What I want to do is establish the foundation, increase our efficiency, because I believe increasing our efficiency is going to translate into more dollars, plus it's going to establish this foundation
Less
so
turnover.
that I can,
Yeah.
not even turnover, because I don't have turnover with painters so much,
Right.
but it's just creating this strong foundation that is essentially a launching pad for me to get to the millions that I want to get to.
Nice.
Really, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in that way I'm growing, and I think growing means different things at different times in your business, but my business coach has kind of helped me wrap my head around everything I'm saying
I
right
just
now.
feel like I think that a lot of people are concerned about business coaches because they're expensive.
They
They
are.
They're very
Yeah.
expensive. But like you have to weigh that out. You know, what is your 3-year, 5-year plan? If your business coach can help you get there, but you have to also be good with taking direction from someone and
Totally.
being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because they're certainly going to make you do that
That's-
too.
Yes, and I will tell you, here's what I think about business coaches, or anytime you're having to make a monetary investment in what you're doing, because it's scary, right? It can be a lot of money, but the way I try and approach it is that I'm betting on myself, right? So I am going to put someone in front of me, and it might cost me a couple $1,000s a month even,
Right.
right?
A month, yeah.
But that is a bet that I'm taking on myself, because I
good.
know that if I have the information and a little bit of direction, I'm going to kill it, right? So that's how I try and kind of wrap my head around that, because it is scary to put forth a lot of money.
Yeah. So how do you pick then which business coach is
Now
right
that
for
I
you?
think is difficult.
You
It's
get
like,
to interview them.
you can interview
Yeah.
them, but I think it's like, if you guys have ever gone to therapy, it's like, I want the right therapist. I want one that works well with me. I think you have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure they're a right fit. The other thing is, you have to make sure that their, I want to say morals or ethics are in line with what
Right.
you're trying to do.
Do you?
Yep.
Sorry.
Personality wise too, like I can only fit with certain personality types, and there's some that when I clash, it's a hard clash.
Really?
Like it's really bad. So you have to make sure that
Yes.
certain personality is a fit for you too.
Yeah.
Because I can't take direction from someone who I'm like, I don't even like you, dude, or whatever, you know.
And I think like you have to figure out what you want to work on. Like a lot of, I think, working on your business really starts with working on yourself,
100%.
which we've talked about
yes.
before. Like you can want to work on your business, but actually you might have some head trash that you have to clear up first before you can actually get
Head
moving.
trash. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cassie, what? Let me ask you, what is are you loving your career right now?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I would do this for free. I don't want to, but I would.
Right. Do you know what your why is? Your why for getting into the industry, for getting into this business and starting your own company? What's the why behind it?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And for me, besides the passion that has always existed there and my love for interior design, it goes back to what we first started, what I first told you when we started this segment, is that I want people to love where they live. I really do. I want them to come
Oh,
home.
I think we all feel that, huh?
Yeah,
Totally.
I want them to walk in and just be able to exhale and feel like they're in their space. They're in their,
So good.
yeah, they're in that spot that is 100% them.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, Cassie, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. They can reach me at 205-447-8317. We have a website, honeyhomegroup.com/design. I'm also on Facebook under Honey Home Design and Staging, and social media at Cassie Wright Design. So
Wow,
yeah,
yes.
Nice.
So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. If you want if you're thinking about getting started in the industry like I did, then I'd be happy to help you.
Oh, you would be a mentor.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. Hey, Michael,
Hey, Jen,
how do we get a hold of you?
you can get a hold of me if you want to check out our Facebook for No Drip Painting. We're on there. We've got a website, www.nodrippainting.com.
Nice.
How do we get a hold of the LKW team?
Oh, well, the LKW team, the LKW Home Team, has so much going on, but you can easily get a hold of us at Welcome Home 614 on Facebook, at Welcome Home 614 on Instagram. You know that. I love that. It goes down in the DM. And come join us later today, because we're going to have an event at Cohatch in Worthington. It's called Brides, Browns, and Brunch. So if you're newly married and or, just engaged, join us for the game. Cleveland Browns 1 through 4, and we're gonna have brunch. It's
And
gonna
I have
be great.
to say, you've got the best events.
I love a good party.
I go to the
Yeah.
events. I'm not
She's
newly
not
married.
even
I'm
buying
not
a
a bride. I
house.
don't even like the Browns.
She
But
won't
I'm
wear a dress
probably-
either.
I'm probably going to come to that event.
Yeah, she just drinks my stuff. So Rude. Okay, so don't forget to follow us at 614Femprenuer on Facebook. Give us a like, 614FEMPRENEUR. Hey, Cassie, I love you.
Thanks,
You've
Jen.
been a blast. Like, honestly, you're a good person. You have a good heart,
Thank
and
you.
you're going to be super successful. I feel it.
So true.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
Great. Thanks
Yes,
for joining us.
thank you.
Good job. See how fast that went?
Oh my God,
You did
I was
great.
so bad in the
you were so
beginning.
good. No, he's going to cut that out. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
You're fine.
okay.
No, you
Oh my
did great.
God.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
He will totally cut that out.
I feel like I was like a bumbling
Oh,
idiot.
no.
No.
I didn't think that at all.
Doug,